Greetings gamers everywhere, I'm Swip92 and wow, I have been having a ton of fun with this demo. This is the demo of Lost Skies and I have been looking forward to this game, and I was very glad to see that they came out with a demo for the game. And I was not, shall we say, what's the word? I wasn't disappointed by it. I do really, I can't emphasize enough that if you're into adventure games, do and check out this game. Go and check out their demo and try it for yourself. The game is a adventure action crafting game, and you know, there has been a lot of those, especially with like survival mechanics, but what sets this game apart, that's what I'm always looking at when I try new games, especially when those games are very reminiscent of others. This one, for example, reminds me very much of Raft, another great survival adventure game, but that takes place on an ocean with a raft, hence the name, and so on. This one takes place in the sky. In the skies, instead of a water ship or dinghy or raft that's on water, you get an airship. That's right. And not just that, we'll get into that just a little bit. But first, I just want to mention that before all this, you don't get it right away. First off, you get to do a little adventure and looking for materials and reaching other islands in the sky, because yes, that is what you're doing. You're traveling from island to island in the sky. And to reach these islands, you have to navigate through different means. One of those means is, of course, a airship. But you don't get that right away, as I said. You have to start off by doing some exploration and finding the materials you need to get to islands further away. Now, let's go over traversal a little bit here, because that's also one of the things that they have borrowed a little bit from Breath of the Wild, I want to say, because you can climb just about any surface here. Just jump onto a wall and your character will get stuck to it like a spider. I'm not kidding, like a spider, because I've literally been climbing upside down, like on a roof, or more accurate, on a floating rock, while I was below the rock. So I was basically having my back towards the infinite abyss. So that was very unique for one thing, climbing upside down. That was very fun. You also get a grappling hook and a glider, kind of like in Enshrouded. And you also have get other tools for mining and such later on as well. But what sets this apart from other survival games, I think, would be the hook and the glider a little bit here. Now the hook is very, shall we say, physics based. It will tangle up in other things. It has a very long reach, so don't worry about that. But it will tangle up in other things, and swinging and such, flying and grappling off the thing you have caught onto and just grappling onto another and swinging like Tarzan works fine. Works very well. No issues there. But the further you get into the game and the more you unlock, well, sooner or later you will unlock the airship. Well, more accurately, you will unlock a shipyard. You will unlock the ability to build a shipyard, which will make it so that you can build your own airship. Now, this isn't building as in just placing individual blocks or individual planks and such, and then suddenly you have an airship. No, the building of airships works much like building spaceships in Starfield, actually. You actually get to start out with a block, and then you add blocks to the rest of the ship until you get something that, well, something that you want. this shipyard level 1 only has a limit of only 10 blocks. I'm gonna call it 10 blocks. Now you can shape these blocks to a degree, like you can make grab the corners and then just press them together to make them a little bit smaller and so on, like giving, like I gave my ship a little kind of a nose shape at the front. There's also other, I'm guessing there will be a lot of different options in the full game as well, and as you unlock further levels of the shipyard, you will probably be able to build bigger, better, and so on. Now, these airships will also require sails to actually be able to go anywhere. Now, you can steer them without the sails, but they won't go fast, and you will need partially you will need one sail to go so you can go forward, and one sail to like help you navigate to the sides. And they also have wind in the game, so depending on the wind, well, the faster you go. Now, what's more also interesting about the game is the style that they've chosen to have the game in, which is also very reminiscent of Raft, I want to say. Now, I do like it. It looks very well, and what's interesting is how they managed to get the lighting so well that they did, because that's kind of impressive to me. I didn't expect the lighting to be as, shall we say, beautiful as it is, but I do really enjoy this demo. What I think I enjoy the most is the exploration I've done. I haven't done much in the airship exploration part just yet. I have unlocked it, I have flown it. It's not the easiest thing to control. There are a lot of directions and levers and so on to keep track of. What I found most difficult was to actually, how the hell do I slow down and brake? I did discover that holding down W, you actually adjust a lever to your right, and if you press down S, you actually slow down. So holding down W, have it furthest up, you go as fast as you can, and having it at the bottom, you will slow down heavily. Having it middle is middle. And then you also have tilting forward and backwards and to the sides. And this is all shown on your UI, so keep a track on that so that you actually know how you're actually flying, if you're flying straight or just up or down or whatever. There's also control and space for keys, that is, control and space keys for up and down. I wish those were a little bit faster, because honestly, holding down space to fly upwards, you do notice it, but it's very, very slow. Maybe bigger airships, or rather future airships, will be faster. I doubt that the shape of the airship matters too much. I don't know. It didn't say anything about the shape when I was building in the tutorial, so I don't think the shape of the airship does matter too much, except for that you can still crash into things, of course, like trees and buildings and mountains and all that. So be aware of that. As for actually the ship being destroyed, I don't think it can. The different materials you can use for walls and such do mention like structural stability or something, but I'm not sure if that's more akin to like how much punishment they can take, or if it's more just how sturdy they are in winds or something. I don't know. But I do like the little details that they have done to the airships, and I do enjoy. I'm really enjoying learning the different controls for them. I had a bit of a small problem actually coming back to the first island where when I was gonna park it again. I had to crash into some trees, and I got to thinking that, yeah, maybe clear the trees around your shipyard. That's a good idea. Yeah, I should have thought of that before I head off, but hey. Another tip I want to get in here, when you leave, take some of those anti-gravity thingies with you that you can use to lift rocks and such, because there are plenty of such places where you will be needing those. Of course, you can always craft them as long as you have a workbench with you or close to you. Almost forgot to mention one part of the game that I really like. The cutting wood. The cutting of wood and the mining. Believe it or not, but they have actually managed to make it a little bit different. Now this is a bit sci-fi here, so of course there will be maybe some mechanical or modern things with some mechanics, but they really went differently, especially with the cutting tool. And basically you're handed a saw blade or a hand thing with a energy saw blade that you throw against a tree, and then it bounces back, and then you catch it and you throw it again, catch it, throw it again. And they actually made it a bit skill based, because if you throw it again right as you catch it, or right after you catch it, you can actually throw it and throw it and throw it well until you're done cutting away that tree and all of the parts that you want. But if you don't throw it again, then the weapon will go, or tool will go on a cooldown. Now actually, when I say weapon, it's quite accurate to call it a weapon, because you can actually use it to hunt. It's quite effective against biological enemies, like hunting the deers or the flying little insect looking thingies, or the big manta, the sky manta, manta, those big flowing creatures that shoot poison at you. Yeah, those things. Oh, and when I say that they're skill-based, yeah, in combat that really tells, because those mantas will attack you as well, and throwing multiple of those in a row against them, it's not easy, because you also, when they attack, you will want to dodge, because they pack a punch, especially early on. Yeah, moving on. Now, there is one thing I'm not so sure of though in the game. The game has this kind of, you can build things. As far as I know, you can build like houses and all that, but the airship is of course the main focus. But you can also, there are some things you can't build on the ground and some things you can't build on the airship. Now most things seems to be a airship only thing. Most things. I don't understand why that is. Of course, sails and helms and the engine, of course, I understand that. But why are some of the chests and such, why are those unique to the airship? Why can I only build those on the airship and not on the ground? Now, of course, you can just put everything in your airship. That would be the simplest thing. But as I said, not everything can be built on the airship. I don't remember if the smelter and such can be built on the airship. Maybe future, or rather higher level tiers of shipyards will make it so that you can actually build some of those crafting stations on the ship. Now the workbench, the basic workbench, can only be built on the airship, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I want it on my airship, but I don't understand why it must be built on the airship. It should be I should be able to build that anywhere, I think. But that's me. I'm sure this is of course a demo, so nothing is final. There's a lot of things that can be changed. But I think that's all I get to say about the game, or rather the demo for now. I do encourage you to try out the game for yourself. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to discover. I don't know how long the demo is. For now, I've been playing for about a little over 3 hours, and I have been having a lot of fun with it. There's a lot to explore, but I should mention, this is co-op. There's co-op in this game. It works very much like Valheim, actually. You can create multiple characters and you can have multiple different servers. Either you have friends only, invites only, or public. So you can play this with other people. I don't know how many, maybe up to 4 people, maybe more. But yeah, try it out, check it out on Steam, link in the description. Not sponsored, of course. Yeah, that's it. I'm Mr. Weapon 2, have a great life and hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye.